Well, about 5 months ago, the Plankton movie has came out, and I have heard some positive reviews. But me, on the other hand, I am not a big fan of the Plankton movie. So today's video, I'm going to compare Plankton the movie to the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water from 2015, just to share my own opinion about the Plankton movie. Okay, just a little disclaimer, this is my negative review on the Plankton movie, so you guys may hate me right after this, but I can dislike what I don't like, so just don't go off on me in the comments, and then we will be good. Capiche? Now, let's get started. Okay, I don't know why I put story in round 1, because SpongeBob is a cartoon that doesn't have a story, but whatever, it's fine. The plot in the Plankton movie is that Plankton is doing his same old plans, like stealing the Krabby Patty secret formula. Yeah, that never gets old, and I mean it in a bad way. But anyway, right after attempting to steal the formula again, well, Plankton has love issues with his computer wife, and even Karen made a restaurant. Plankton just destroyed it because it was not evil enough, so for that, Karen just turned bad and does generic evil stuff. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but the Plankton movie was just basically a cliche love story that we all seen before. What that I can't stand this movie is the timeline that they made a mess in SpongeBob. Well, in Sponge Out of Water, SpongeBob meets his friends at Camp Coral. Well, even though they met as adults, to remind you. Well, in the SpongeBob show, Plankton actually became evil because of his rivalry with Mr. Krabs. Okay, well, I enjoyed his backstory of him being at college, but that is until they just completely changed Plankton's backstory. Well, there's a SpongeBob episode where Plankton and Mr. Krabs used to be good friends. Yeah, they were buddies until they have to run a restaurant, and Plankton has to steal the secret formula to make good food to surpass Mr. Krabs. But in this movie, his reason of stealing the secret formula because Mr. Krabs already owns the restaurant and make good food, and he wants to use this good food to rule the world. Like, this origin story was just so pointless, and plus, the Plankton that I know from the show would be proud and impressed by her wife having the jump bucket actually make good food. Hey, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh dude, you don't know what you're talking about. The guy who voiced Plankton directed this movie, so they understand Plankton's character, blah blah blah. Well, okay, yeah, I know the voice actor of Plankton directed this movie, but let me ask you a good question. If they truly cared about the Plankton character, then why give Plankton such a pointless origin story instead of the ones that we got from the show? Well, if you added like some subplot where Plankton meets Mr. Krabs and they become best friends until they turn on each other into the college backstory, then I would be much more appreciated, and it will feel like that they cared. But judging by the result, it doesn't feel like that they cared for me. I mean, if they did cared, then they should use the Plankton and Mr. Krabs friend or foe subplot into the movie. Okay, I get this movie might not be canon, but it just completely changed everything that I know about this cartoon. You guys may say what you will about the voice actor being the director, because I am not going to pretend that they actually cared about this movie, because it actually doesn't feel like it to me. Well, in fact, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was a great example of caring about a franchise, because they did something from the games through and through, and that's how I know they cared about the movie. As for the Plankton movie, I was not sure that they really cared about the Plankton film or not, because it doesn't really prove that they cared. Anyway, the story in the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is that the pirate named Burger Beard stole the magic book, and right when Plankton do the same old stuff, like stealing the secret formula just disappears. All because of Burger Beard turning everyone's life a living hell, and even turning the town into an apocalypse. Okay, the story is not well executed either, but I had more fun with Sponge Out of Water than the Plankton movie. I watched this movie in theaters as a kid, and it felt like watching this show at the cinema. Well, the pacing in both of these movies are fast, but the only difference is that Sponge Out of Water had a somewhat of a excuse to be fast-paced, and the Plankton movie just felt like a race to get to the end credits. You know what? I think I talk about this story enough. So, a SpongeBob movie with the superior plot, for me, is Sponge Out of Water. Well, the characters in the Plankton movie, well, they're just pretty forgettable. Like, I even forgot everyone in this movie after finishing watching the Plankton movie. Well, even I did remember them, then I would know that they did nothing much in this movie. The ones that does the most is Sandy and her gal pals. Like, I found the gal pals to be pretty boring and unnecessary in the plot. Well, they can fight good, I can give them that, but they are not great. Well, we all know that SpongeBob is a annoying type character. Well, in the Plankton movie, he got on my nerve. Like, SpongeBob was just being himself too much, and he has no interesting character arc. Well, SpongeBob does not had any arcs in Sponge Out of Water. And the heck, it is his own movie, and he does not have any character arc, just like he did in the 2004 movie. Well, the only character that do have an arc is Plankton. Well, Plankton's redemption story of needing help was the highlight of this movie. Well, his redemption arc did got a bit wasted when he ends up doing the same thing again, when he just literally gave the secret formula back to Mr. Krabs. But still, Sponge Out of Water is not even a Plankton movie, but Plankton just somehow had a more of redemption arc. Like, his was better than everyone in the Plankton movie. Okay, well, Plankton had a character development of being a better partner to Karen, and you know what? That character arc is pretty good too. In fact, what these two movies had in common is that SpongeBob and Plankton were working together, and I gotta admit, they're both pretty fun, but I found Plankton and SpongeBob team up better, as they even time travel to prevent the secret formula from disappearing. Well, Sponge Out of Water had some pretty hilarious, clever comedy. Well, the comedy in the Plankton movie I thought they were fine. I didn't laugh at any of the comedy. Well, the only comedy that I did laugh was the adult humor. And I don't know how they put an adult joke in a movie. Okay, if we're talking about the character Plankton in an entertaining standpoint, then sure, I will give it to the Plankton movie. But in my opinion, the movie with a far superior character is Sponge on the Run. Okay, the villain in the Plankton movie is Karen, while Sponge Out of Water, on the other hand, has Burger Beard as the villain, and I gotta say, he reminded me of Jack Sparrow. Well, anyway, like I said, Karen was just a generic type villain that does take over the world cliche, and she's just only taking over the world because of her cliche relationship problems with Plankton. As for Burger Beard, well, I did not like him as the villain that much, well, until I just saw a deleted scene of his backstory. Like, he was bullied and neglected, and that has his motivation to open his own restaurant, and for to do that, he has to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Okay, I don't know why they deleted this scene. I mean, that could have been a big deal for the movie. Now that I have seen the deleted scene, now I like Burger Beard a little more, but he doesn't even hold as a threat to the SpongeBob heroes. Well, he may beaten them all. Well, if it weren't for Plankton, then Burger Beard could have won. So yeah, as you can tell, I am not impressed with both of these villains. Well, if I really have to choose, then I will go with Burger Beard from Sponge Out of Water, undoubtedly. Okay, for animations, I'm easily going to give it to Sponge Out of Water. Well, especially 3D animation that give Space Jam a run for their money with the CGI they took advantage of. And the action was pretty good too. Well, it is not great, but pretty good. Well, the action in the climax was just underwhelming and forgettable in my opinion. Well, in fact, Plankton character growth just followed the same category as 4 and Love and Thunder, I suppose. It did. Well, if you're into love story and stuff, I would recommend it, I guess. Well, there's something about the ending that doesn't make sense in Sponge Out of Water. There's a scene before the credits that shows a dolphin and a seabird, or whatever it's called, rap battling each other. I literally saw that scene when I was watching it in theaters. They even cuss in a kid's film during a rap battle, and that got on my head as a kid. Well, because of that, look how I turn out today. Maybe my own movie ending would be better than this. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys, but Sponge on the Run, Sponge Out of Water, has the better animation, undoubtedly, and better action too. So I have no choice but to give this round to this movie. Okay, none of these SpongeBob sequels are perfect, neither they're as good as the 2004 version. Well, except that the creator of SpongeBob did the second movie, sort of, and then, the next thing you know, it becomes a complete mess. People take over the original creator work and give us nonsense. Although, I had more respect on movies that actually did justice to the source material. So Sponge Out of Water has a somewhat excuse to exist, and Plankton just doesn't. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but the Plankton movie, to me, is nothing really special. It was just a simple SpongeBob spin-off that I just watched. Well, it was better than the Sandy Cheeks movie, but I wouldn't call it the best SpongeBob movie since the first. That is just exaggerating. The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water is not a great movie, but the only difference is that, unlike the Plankton movie, I had appreciation of Sponge Out of Water. I grew up with this film. You may say what you will, but this movie did get better for me when I rewatch it as an adult. So my score for the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water is a 7 out of 10. And the Plankton movie gets a standard low 4 out of 10. Yike, wow. Freaking SpongeBob spin-off, mans. Yike, this is actually so embarrassing that the Loud House of all things has better spin-off shows, and they actually have way better spin-off movies too. The story in the Casa Grande movie was pretty watchable, and there's some tension and emotional stuff. Okay, well, I know the Loud House is supposed to be a grounded show, but the thing is that the Loud House was never been grounded. Let's look back to the season 1 episode. Lisa just literally created a garbage monster, and garbage monster is not even a grounded thing. Oh, and there's also the episode where Lincoln goes to another dimension where he has 10 brothers instead of sisters. Okay, well sure, that was just a dream, but still, crazy stuff been happening in the Loud House since season 1, and you guys been talking about is supposed to be a grounded show? Yeah, get out of here. So yeah, the SpongeBob spin-off are nothing but trash, and I even enjoyed the Loud House spin-off better than that. But SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water always have a special place in my heart, and it was a memorable time watching it in theaters. But hey, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you enjoy this video and like what I do? And if you disagree with me, then just tell me which movie do you like better, and please be kind to me and others as you type up your opinion in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and just actually subscribe to my channel, because I know most people are not subscribed. My name is Isaiah Belfort, and I will see you guys next time.